Now, today we're going to be working questions 15 and 16. So let me take a look at 15 first. The segment IJ is a radius of the circle. The length of IJ is 8. And the area of the circle. Find the area of the circle. Area of the circle. Give your answers in terms of pi or as a decimal rounded to the nearest hundredth. Okay. Area of a circle. What's the area of a circle? Let's remember. Area. I'm just going to write area of a circle. So I'm going to write the O as a circle. It is going to be radius times radius times pi. Now, if you guys Google it, Google says radius squared pi. Well, radius squared, that's basically radius times radius, right? I'm just going to just call it radius times radius because on my calculator, when I'm doing the work, more than likely I'm going to go radius times radius. If you're familiar with your calculator and you can just type in radius squared times pi, that's fine. But I'm gonna go here. Okay, so find the area of the circle. The radius, as we can see, is 8. Okay, from the center to the edge, that's the radius. So that radius is 8. Now remember, the area of my circle, the radius is radius times pi. So I'm gonna go 8 times 8 times, now the pi, let me use the number 3.14. If you use the pi symbol, that's fine, but I'm gonna use 3.14. So according to my calculator, I'm gonna get 200.96. Okay, that's good. 200.96. If you were to use the pi symbol instead of the decimal 3.14, you were to use pi, your answer will be 201.06. Again, I say both answers just in case you're using the pi symbol. Okay, now let's take a look at number 16. Find the area of the shaded annulus given the outer radius is 13 centimeters and the inner radius is 4 centimeters. Give your answer in terms of pi or as a number rounded to two decimal places. Okay. What they're asking here is, you see this here, there's two circles, right? There's a big circle and a small circle. The shaded annulus given is basically this blue section here. Again, there are two circles. Now, this, before I look at this question, these type of questions are those that I've seen a lot in state testing. So some of you guys will be taking state testing, so or soon. So the way they do it, the way they do this, and then you guys will see why I said they're very similar. They said you guys have an area. Let's say you have a garden shaped on a rectangular uh, garden. You have a rectangular garden. Inside of the garden, you have a rectangular swimming pool. And let's just say that's a swimming pool. They're asking how much of the outside of that is going to be grass. So I'm going to put this green in grass. So I guess for the pool, let me go blue because the water looks a little bluish. So they ask you how much grass do you need? What's the area of the grass area? If you notice, if you notice, both shapes have, in my case here in our homework, I have a big circle and a small circle inside. For the state testing, they do a big rectangle and a small rectangle on the inside. In reality, what I'm doing for our question, I'm gonna get the area of the big circle. I'm gonna get the area of the big circle. So that will give me this whole thing. And then I'm gonna subtract the small circle inside. And that would actually give me this. Because think about it. If you have the big circle, but you take away the circle in the center, wouldn't you have what you're looking for? So in this case, what I have to do is get the area of both circles, but remembered, I'm gonna do the big circle minus the small circle. Now for the area of the pool, the big rectangle minus the small rectangle. And that's it. So okay, so here I'm gonna go, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna get the area. I'm gonna write B for the big circle minus the area of L. Of that means the not L, S. The area of the big circle minus the area of the small circle. That's pretty much it. Now, the radius on the big circle is 13, right? So the way I'm gonna calculate my area of the big circle, I'm gonna go 13 times 13 times 3.14. I'm gonna use 3.14 for pi. That's the area of the big circle. Minus the area of the small circle. The radius of the small circle is 4. So for that one, I'm gonna go 4 times 4 times 3.14. I don't really have to get the area of the first circle and then the area of the second circle and subtract them. I can just type it in. The calculator will understand. So 13 times 13 times 3.14 minus 4 times 4 times 3.14. A calculator knows he has to do multiplication. So it does all this multiplication first, then it does this multiplication second, and then just subtract the answers. The calculator already knows. My answer in this case will be 480.42. Now you might be asking, well, what if I use the pi symbol? I didn't use 3.14. I told my calculator to go 13 times 13 times pi minus 4 times 4 times pi. Well, your answer in that case is going to be 480.66. Now, do me a favor. If you do one circle 3.14, you use 3.14, do the same on the other circle. If you use pi on one circle, use pi on the other. Don't start mixing and matching, okay? So either 3.14 for both circles or pi for both circles.